Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, I need to give a little bit of a shout out before we dive into this video topic. No, we're not giving a shout out to Jimmy Stu. We're not giving a shout out to Brady Tkachuk or Claude Giroux or Drake Batherson or Jake Sanderson or even Adam Gaudette. I wanted to give a shout out to my guy, Travis Mother Freaking Green, baby, because wow! Travis Green has done wonders with the Ottawa Senators organization, and now I feel like this Sens team is proving me, this team is proving you, this team is proving the majority of the hockey fan base so wrong. So wrong. Because the Ottawa Senators have been so good this year. One of the most offensively productive teams in the NHL. And when you think about just the level of dominance offensively this team has been able to bring to the table, it gets kind of ridiculous when you acknowledge where they are in the NHL standings. Because right now, if you head over to the Atlantic Division, hey, it's getting ridiculous for these teams here. The Ottawa Senators have a record of 5-4-0. They've got 10 points in 9 games played. They are 4th overall in the Atlantic, but the thing is, only 2 points separates 6 of these Atlantic teams. The Boston Bruins are tied with the Canadiens and the Sabres for last in the division, and they're only 1 point below 500. This division has been uber competitive, and the Ottawa Senators, everybody knows, they're in the thick of it. From the screen, to the ring, to the pen, to the king, they are smack dab in it. And I think it's kind of misleading to say, oh yeah, the Sens are 4th in the Atlantic Division, because when you go over to some of the numbers, let's go over to the NHL as a whole, and you talk about the goals for number. The Sens have 38 goals in 9 games. They are one of the best 5 teams in the NHL in goals, and even better when you sort by goals per game. Now, the goals against, that's a bit of a different story here. They're not one of the top 5 teams in that respect. In fact, they're around the middle. But the Ottawa Senators have been getting so much production out of the guys that you need to see step up on this team that, in a way, I feel like all of the hope that hockey fans and Sens fans had for this roster of guys the past few years has all kind of bottled up into one singularity. You shook it all up and it exploded all over our faces like a Coca-Cola bottle in the hot, warm sun. You have everybody that needs to be producing, and then some. Just go over to the Ottawa Senators and their point production. Who leads the team in points? Well, that would be Jimmy Stu, who, coming off of a 4-point game yesterday against the St. Louis Blues, has himself 14 points in 9 games. 5 goals, 9 assists. He is on pace for a total of 128 points. Talk about getting 70 points last year in 75 games and 90 points the year before that. Going from 70 points to 128 would literally be almost double the production. It's 12 points away from doubling the production. That's ridiculous. And 70 points isn't even all too bad. Last year, we all kind of acknowledged that the rest of the Sens body had a little bit of a setback, and thus guys like Timmy Stu and Brady Tkachuk, their numbers were down. But this season, not only is it Jimmy Stu going out there with a crazy high point production, but Brady Tkachuk has 1 fewer point than Jimmy Stu. He is on pace for 100 points as well. Not to mention, Drake Batherson, 12 points, 5 goals, 7 assists in 9 games. Claude Giroux, 11 points in 9 games. Josh Norris, 8 points in 9 games. Jake Sanderson, 8 points in 9 games. Adam freaking Gaudette has 5 points and 4 goals in 8 games this year. You're telling me that Adam Gaudette has started out the season on pace for 41 goals? He's not gonna hit that, I don't think. Right? I don't know. Maybe anything is possible under Travis Green. And even if you scroll down, you take a look at some of the other guys, there are players here whom maybe you would expect a little bit more out of. Zach Ostapchuk has 1 point, but then again, he's only got 1 game, so maybe he's kind of free from any sort of criticism. Zach McEwen, Nick Cousins, these guys have their roles. Shane Pinto has been decent to okay. And then in net, you have Linus Ullmark, who has been good, I would say. 904 save percentage, 276 goals against. It's a huge improvement over what Joonas Korpisalo had done last year with the team. I mean, hey, imagine having an actually good starting goaltender for once. Now, if you head over to some of the numbers, this is where things get even crazier for the Ottawa Senators, because with their record that we had talked about, they are one of the top teams in the Atlantic. Take a look at this. The Sens have reached 5 wins in October for the first time since 2017-2018. And it's technically not even the end of October yet. Now, I get it, the Sens' next game is in November, so they wouldn't have even had a chance to extend this lead further on when it comes to wins in October. But this is also the first time they have 5 wins in less than 7 games too, since 2016-17. You know what the Sens did in 2017? They almost made the Stanley Cup Finals. So, if you want to talk about direction, you want to talk about projection, you want to talk about where this team is going, technically they're doing things they haven't done since their Stanley Cup almost finals run. Back when Erik Karlsson was feeding long lob passes to Mike Hoffman and making it work, back when Mark Stone and Matt Duchene and Kyle Turris were all on this team doing their thing. That was an era of Ottawa Senators hockey, and it was so far gone, because when you think about it, it's like, yeah, that was 17 years ago. By the time the 2025 playoffs roll around, it would have been 8 years ago. Ridiculous. Time goes by so slowly at times and so quickly at others, but when you think about the Ottawa Senators, they've been bad for so long, disappointing for so long, and now their guys are going out there and producing a heck of a lot of points. Everything is working. And for me personally, I don't really have a say in the race of the Ottawa Senators, but I do have a say in my fantasy hockey league. I will say it's been so annoying facing off against anybody that has an Ottawa Senator. The top guys on this team are just producing the lights out. And if you go over to the NHL and you look at just the overall point production metrics, you'll see this. Nice to see from the big dogs. This was posted onto the R Ottawa Senators subreddit, but in the NHL in points, Tim Stutzle is tied for 8th overall with Nikita Kucherov, Kyle Connor, and Jared McCann. Okay, that's great, but if you scroll down, Brady Tkachuk, 21st overall, Drake Batherson, 22nd, Claude Giroux, 27th. These guys are all there, and this chart was actually posted before the St. Louis Blues stomping from earlier yesterday. So if you look at this today, the numbers would be even better for the Ottawa Senators. This team's ridiculously good. I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How well the Sens have been producing offense, how well things have been clicking, how guys like Timmy Stu have started to come alive, and how guys like Brady Tkachuk have started to take on some really good goal-scoring roles on this team. Thoughts in the comments as to how the Sens have been proving everybody, myself included, very, very wrong this season. What's been going right? What's been going wrong? What areas are there for improvement with this team, if any? Aside from, of course, the obvious defensive coverage and overall breakdowns. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Ottawa Senators. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.